right, so we're now live again. Okay, ready? So this is part 4 of this open forum. We did 2 parts yesterday, first part this morning, and now we're on to second part. So for the next hour, more or less, right, and I'm not going to do the whole hour and a half, right? But for the next hour, more or less, I want you guys to throw me with whatever questions you gathered. Whoever's watching from home, same thing. Any questions, just bring it up. Because tomorrow, as I mentioned earlier and throughout the week, tomorrow we're doing practice exam A. So it's going to be 110 questions in which all of us are going to actively participate. It's not a pass or fail tomorrow, neither is Friday. So it's strictly for you guys to have a better feeling what the school exam and what the state exam might be like. Okay? So for now, just throw me whatever you have, where you're getting confused, where you're getting stuck. If you don't know what to ask, Claudia, that's what you were saying. If you don't know what to ask while you're studying, put a star, put a tab, something that once you come back to class, or something that you can say, Bruno, can you please go to page whatever, or take a picture of it, whatever section it is, and say, Bruno, could you explain this again? And I will explain, all right? Because what I want to do is make sure all of you move forward. At least that's what I'm attempting to do. Will it happen? Unfortunately, I cannot control what you guys do. I can only control what I do. And what I do is teach, train you, get you ready for the exam, right? And the availability to answer these questions. So, with that being said, questions?
Can you refund the test?
Sorry? Yeah, from wherever. Yep.
Question 12 on my test.
Sorry, 12?
Yeah.
This was yours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I answered that because I actually did not know what it was.
Great. So I'll tell you where the answer is without even knowing anything. So even if you did not know anything here, what you need to remember is that a summary of something is an abstract. You remember that?
Yeah, no.
Okay. So did I read anything else? Okay, so let's just read just for fun. It says a written summary of the history of all conveyances. What is conveyance? Transfer, right. So all transfers and legal proceedings affecting a specific parcel of real estate is called affidavit of title. Is the seller telling you, hey, whatever I did is correct. If there's anything in the future that goes against my statement, you can sue me, right? That's what it is. Certificate of title is a type of evidence of title, as well as a title insurance policy. But the only one that's a summary or abstract of things, right? Summary or condensed history is abstract of title, which is, again, these 3, just so you know, if the question was a little different. If the question was, all these are evidence of title except, right? So that means all of these were evidence of title. And then that answer would have been correct. Because an affidavit of title does not prove title. It just proves that the seller is willing to be sued if his statements are proven incorrect. You got it? Good? Next question.
Page 221, question 49. Some have questions.
Not again. Just kidding.
321, 49. 321 questions.
All right, Celine is back. I hope you're back with questions. 321. And I'm sorry, 49 you said?
49, yeah.
I'm sorry, 39 or 49?
49.
49, sorry. Is this the one?
Yeah.
All right. The Simmons tell their broker they have $60,000 a year in income, but no debts. If the mortgage plan they're considering uses a qualifying ratio of 2836, what is the highest monthly payment they qualify for? Let me do a snippet of this real quick. Oh, am I wrong? Now we got it. All right. Just want to point out a couple of things. First of all, they make $60,000 a year,
Right.
but they have no debts. There's front-end ratio and back-end ratios when we're trying to get qualified for a mortgage, right? Yes? Okay. So there's front-end ratio, and this relates to the income. And there's the back-end ratio, which relates to the income plus debts. Because there are no debts, do we need that number? No. Because there are no debts, then this is not needed. Cross it out. Ooh. So they're asking, what is the highest? Look at the other thing that they ask. Very important. Monthly payments that they qualify for. What is the highest monthly? The income is yearly. You got it?
Yeah, let me answer my question.
Okay. So it's very, very, I told you guys, the issue with the questions is not you knowing or not knowing. It's mainly how we read. So the question here would have been 60,000 times 28%. How much is that? Louder, please. 16,800. Wait a minute, if we don't do anything else, there's a similar number here. That would be B, right?
Right.
But that is incorrect. I'm saying is sometimes we look at the calculator, wow, 1,600, this is what it is. You didn't even notice there's an extra zero, right? So that's why you need to remember these things. It's a year, right? We need monthly. So now what we need to do, divide by 12, and that equals 1,400, right? So correct answer is?
So if they had debts, then it would be C,
Why would it be C?
because the 36% would be $1,800.
No, because it's 36% of their total monthly override. So they make 16,800 a month, right? Plus debts, and that's the 36% of those. So if the debts were $500, it's 16,800, right? And then we're gonna do the 36% minus the debts, and that's what they qualify for. That's the maximum bill.
So no debts would be the front end ratio, debts is the
Back end ratio. So to make it simple, state exam is very similar to this. They don't talk about debts. Most of the times the questions are simple, no debts. It's the income, bring it down to monthly, or just make the 20% and then bring it down to monthly. Whatever way you want. You just can't forget what they're asking, which is monthly.
The 36 threw me off. I was confused with the 36.
Yeah. Okay?
Teacher, can you have the 50 the same page?
50 on the same page?
Yeah.
Meaning
Yeah,
right
one.
below it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like same page, it's right below. All right. See if I can do it like this. You guys can read it, right? Okay. So I'm gonna do a snippet of this, so it gives me enough room to write. Okay, and it says a 3-acre lot on the lake is priced at $200 per front foot. If it is 1,000 feet deep, what is the asking price? The first thing we need to do, sorry, 321? Okay, so we're going to draw the lot, and it says that this lot is 3 acres. 3 acres, right? And it also says that this lot is 1,000 feet deep. So we don't have this number, right? And they're asking what would be the price. The first thing we need to figure out is what's the square footage? Because every, has to be a way to change. Okay, here you go. All right, we got colors. So the first thing we need to figure out is how to bring this to square feet. How much is 1 acre? 4 squirrels going down Route 35 at 60 miles an hour, right? That's 1 acre. But they say that this lot is 3 acres. So we have to times that by 3. What is the number?
130,680.
So the total square footage here is 130,680. If we have a number inside and we have a number outside, what do we do?
Divide.
We divide, so this is divided. So 130,680 divided by 1,000 is
130.16.
what is it?
130.68.
Yeah, 130. 68, yeah. Good?
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. So this number that we got is the width, represents width. So it goes right here. And I told you that width is the same as front foot or frontage. So step number 4 here is if they're asking how much is it a front foot, $200 a front foot, how much is this lot worth, right? So it's 130,680, right? Times $200. And that equals 26,136. Answer is, Celine is correct. C. You got it? It's not that hard, is it? Just knowing that it has to be in square feet and that the width is the front foot or frontage. Next question. Hold on, I think I have one. Ella, no, I thought it was a question.
Same page, number 45.
Why don't you guys just say, instead of same page, hey, could you go to the left? Right? Or Yunitsa could have said, could you go down to the next question? But no. Same page number 45. Bruno, look around. Find it. All right. I know I don't do much exercise, but come on. It says right here, question 45. If information about properties in the public records, a potential buyer is assumed to know all about it through the principle of A, constructive notice, B, evidence of title, C, proration, or D, RESPA. So apparently, Celine has the same question as you, because she asked for 45. So the answer is Donald Trump. 45? Okay, forget it. That was bad. Yeah, it's okay. It's early. The answer is, say it louder.
A.
A little bit louder.
A.
A. Constructive notice, right there. Constructive notice. See, there's actual notice and there's constructive notice. Actual notice is you know about the information because you researched. Constructive notice assumes that the information is publicly available. Can you go into public records and find out anything about anybody's property? As long as it's recorded, it's public, it's available. You got it? Good. Celine, you're good? We have to wait 10 seconds. That's the delay. Anybody else?
You want above that?
How about we go over all of them?
Yeah.
We'll get out of the page one. Oh, okay. The term proration refers to tax due on the state of New Jersey at closing. The costs are divided between the buyer and the seller. Absolutely. The lawyer's statement after studying an abstract, definitely not. And debits and credits to buyer and seller. So we have B and D, right? B and D could be the correct answers.
It could be.
You put B. What did you answer, Louis?
I put D.
And what was the correct answer? Did you check?
Yeah,
What is it?
B.
B, as in boy.
Yeah.
Why? What's the difference between these two, even though they're very similar?
Because the cost, not the debits or credit, was the cost. It has to be divided.
But why? Claudia?
Debits and credits could be
Yeah.
like any amount,
Yeah.
divided is the same.
Correct. So debits and credits can be any amount credited or debited to either party, because debits are expenses as well. Here is the costs that are fairly divided between the buyer and seller, where the buyer does not make more money than the seller, or the seller takes advantage of certain things that the buyer has to pay for. So the costs are evenly divided, like taxes. If I prepay taxes, right, then I must be refunded for the portion that I'm not using, because we're closing in mid of the year. So that's a debit and credit for both. You got it? But D would include also attorney fees, debits. Right? You guys got it? That's the difference. Two very similar ones. I know why people would go for this one. Because prorations are debits and credits. Of what though? And Celine says correctly, just like Claudia, divided is the key word. Divided evenly, that's a proration. Everybody has debits, everybody has credits. But here it's divided evenly between both, prorated. Whatever was prepaid, whatever's unpaid, adjusted proportionally between the buyer and the seller. Next question. Right above it.
Number 40.
Oh, 40. Number 40. So the state of New Jersey requires the borrower to be notified that the property may be located in a floodplain. The title policy required by the lender does not protect the owner. Someone other than the owner may be in physical possession of the property, or abstractors usually go back no more than 60 years. And the correct answer is, drum roll. What is it? Louder? A. Do I have to notify you that's located in the floodplain? Is that state of New Jersey or is that federal? These are the differences. Makes a difference. See, state of New Jersey does not require. We're talking about state of New Jersey. Come on, work with me. Not federal. The federal flood program requires A. Unit, what was your answer?
B, I guess.
Now, the title insurance policy is required to notify you.
B.
Was that the correct answer, Louis?
So,
I thought you had checked. I just want to make sure I got it right. But title policy must be notified. If you have a mortgage title policy, then you have to notify, this is chapter 21, then I have to notify the borrower or the buyer that, hey, it doesn't protect you, protects the lender. But you can, for an additional cost, you can purchase your own policy. Okay, Celine, in between. She went A, then she went C, my bad. No, B, you're bad. Okay, the requirements on chapter 21, the requirement is to know, under title insurance policy, right, under evidences of titles, like the third page, the requirement is that we need to notify the borrower that it doesn't protect them. They have to have an owner's title policy. That's the requirement. Okay, actually, let me help you guys by taking you there. Right? It's on page 282. Oh wait, I have this in green. On page 282, New Jersey law requires lenders to inform borrowers of this fact, that the title policy insures the lender, not the borrower or the owner. The answer is on page 282. It just sounded like a football play. 282. Next question. We have 30 minutes.
36.
Still on page, is that 321?
Page 320.
It says here, partition proceeding is an example of A, involuntary alienation, B, public grant, C, tacking, or D, adverse possession. Correct answer is A. Why? Because partition is when we sue the other party to separate. Partition, to separate the ownership. So voluntarily means I called you, Louis, and I said, hey, this is not working out. Let's dissolve our partnership. Let's sell the property, or you buy me out or something, right? But if you don't voluntarily do it, I'm going to involuntarily force you. How? Take you to court. Your Honor, I need to get out. He's not allowing me to get out. The judge will look at the property and see, well, what can be done is we separate the lots. This is yours, this is his. That's a physical partition. If it's not possible, then they force the property to be sold, and that is a judicial partition. You remember this? Chapter 6. Okay. I'll take you guys there, down memory lane. Have you guys noticed that during tax season we get all the calls? I'm getting a bunch of calls from Washington, Nevada, Utah. They just call me from all over the place. Because now it's the scam time. You're about to make money from your tax returns. So it's the scam time where they call you and say, hey, IRS is looking for you. Go to the CVS pharmacy and get a Green Dot gift card, put money there and give me the number. to pay your,
Pay your social security card and your benefits with it.
yeah. That's funny, isn't it?
No, they do the same thing with the utility company.
Yeah. No, this is the time. It's the time. So this is actually chapter 7, I'm sorry, it's page 85. And right above joint tenancy. Right above joint tenancy, it says, if a tenant in common wants to dissolve the ownership, like I was telling you, but the other parties do not voluntarily agree to it, right? He or she may file a suit in court to partition or separate the property. If it's possible, we separate into different parcels, and now we have a physical partition. If not possible because of the structure, let's say it's a 2-family or 3-family, how are we going to separate our assets, right? So if it's not possible, then it's sold, and that's called a judicial partition. I'm talking about the scams. Celine says, they texted me pretending to be my broker, telling me to buy the gift card. I'm glad you didn't fall for it, but if you want to give me the gift card, I'll take it. With cash, so loaded. Make sure it's loaded. Because we can bring gift cards. If they're not activated or loaded, hey, gift card for you, gift card for you. Right? Next question.
I have one question.
Yes.
DOA
I'm sorry?
29. Page DOA.
Page 308. Not that sad. She goes like, first of all, my broker doesn't even know me. Imagine you're ghosting the company. Your broker doesn't know you. Page 308. Almost got there. Wait, 308. Math?
Yeah. Because I get 20 and it's 21.
You got 20, but it's 21?
Yeah.
You don't get anything easy, huh? So, let's see if I can. So Edward Scruggs intends to put up a fence between his lot and his neighbor's. The fencing comes in 6-foot sections. For a fence 120 feet long, how many fence posts are required? Now, why did you get to anyone? Let's look at this. I know why you got stuck. Because you divided by 6.
Yeah.
The problem is, so let's do this. Ready? 6 foot, 6 foot. That was you? Disrespectful. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, that's 6, correct? Now the question is, how many fence posts are required? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? And that's why it's not 20, it's 21. There's an extra pole, right? So I'm just giving you the example, putting 6-foot sections. I put 6 sections here, but it's just to show you, because if you divide 120 right by 6, what number do we get? 20. But there's one at the end and one at the end. So there's always an extra, instead of putting all of them here, right? There's always an extra pole or post. You guys got it? That's why we need to draw things sometimes. I told you anything that was related to area, right? In this case, it's not really area. Celine, oh crap, the post is not proper answer. It's either A, B, C, or D. That's what she just wrote, oh crap, the post. Yeah. Because if there's no support at the end, then it's just, got it? Don't worry, you're not the only one doing this. Almost everybody that I know, makes that mistake, forgets the end pull. And when I say everybody I know, I did it too. Hey, at least I admit it. We're all human. Okay? Next. Oh wow, this is messed up. Post was the key word I missed. How can you miss the posts? Then all of them fall. All right, next question. 25 minutes to go. Next question.
39,
39.
page 31.
We'll go back to 320, okay.
Okay. 320.
320. $29, you said? This one? Yeah?
No, page 39.
Oh, 39, okay. I think I just addressed this earlier. Yeah.
The seller.
The answer is C.
Yes.
An affidavit of title, this is chapter 21, is a document by which the title company reserves the right to sue the seller in case his or her statements proven to be false. So right before closing, we sign the affidavit as a seller. We sign it saying there's no judgments that have been paid for, there's no construction that hasn't been paid for, I'm not in a divorce, and I'm in possession of the property. So if this is not true, you can sue me. That's pretty much what it says, this affidavit. So who signs that? Who prepares that?
Seller.
The seller. So Ella goes, Celine, take a breath. At times we have all overanalyzed situations. Professor Bruno is great. We rock, hypothetically. All right. Next.
Question 26.
In yours? Your test? Is it this one, ad valorem?
Yeah.
Because I didn't sign in again, so I'm going to make sure it's still yours. All right, both the ad valorem tax and the special assessment tax are calculated by using the same method. Allow deduction for senior citizens and veterans, are levied for general support or operation of local government, or levied against specific parcels of property. Before moving forward, Celine, yes, the answer for 39 was C, the seller. So back to this. So you're telling me that special improvement taxes, which are charges to fix the roads and all that stuff, and senior citizens have deductions? No, those deductions fall under the general taxes, so ad valorem. Okay? What you need to remember is that both of these taxes are specific liens against the property. You got it? Questions? Yes? And the reason why it cannot be C, in case you're wondering, is because the general tax are for the support and operation of local government. So that's the ongoing thing. But the special assessment taxes are once in a while fees for certain things that will improve your property. So it's not an ongoing operation of the government. That's what it would throw you off there. And they're definitely not calculated using the same method. Good? Questions? Next.
320, question 28.
320, question.
20.
We will eventually get out of this page.
The next page.
What's the answer, D?
28 was B.
What is it?
B.
28 is B as in boy or D as in
B as
boy?
in boy. B as in boy.
You sure? That's what you answer, or that's what the answer is?
That's what the answer is. I think.
Can you go check it? Because without reading anything else, I got the answer.
I must have looked at the wrong, I think I looked at the wrong.
It's 28?
Yeah, it's 28.
And what does it say there?
Well, the right answer is B. I said that, I think I must have said that 28. I put the answer, look it up here above, on the, chapter 9 to 15, I think. But
Yeah.
the right answer is D, though.
D is David. That's what I'm saying. Okay. It's very simple because a covenant is a guarantee. So I don't need to read anything else. The word covenant is a guarantee, it's a warranty, it's an assurance. They're all synonymous. Okay? Or a promise even. Again. Every time you see covenant, think of guarantees right away. Or warranty deed, because that's the other thing that would show up. So again, guarantee, warranty, assurance, or promise. It's a covenant.
What's a habendums again? Habendums is,
Habendum clause is to have and to hold. When you have to prove ownership, that's what we claim, to have and to hold. Good? I was about to say we got another typo in the book, because I know I'm right. So Celine just answered B is marriage, ownership. That's why she walks around with a whip. Town slave. All right. Next question. Got 15 minutes to go. Questions, questions.
page 311, number
311. Okay, that's different.
number 11.
Celine, you laughing at the whip? She just laughed. So. Page 311. Question number?
11.
311, question 11?
Yeah.
Okay. You answered A, right?
I answer A, but
I even know the answers. Did I tell you that I've been doing this for 4 years? Right? The question is sales contract. It's not listing agreement, sales contract. Sales contract, we are not required to provide this. Definitely not this, because it's at listing as well, right? And this does not matter. Correct answer is B. You must contain notice to the buyer and seller to explain the type of business relationship that you have. So it's the cover page, it's option 26. The cover page of every contract states that you represent the buyer or the seller, both or none. You got it? Louis?
yes.
So the key thing was sales. If it says listing contract or agreement, then A would be correct answer. Bye-bye. Tomorrow you have to stay the whole till at 1:30, okay? It's the exam. I can only count on you for questions. I don't know. 17 here?
Yeah, same page.
Same page. Is it to the right?
It's to the right.
Yeah, the question is right there. And I'm here searching for it, making me work. All right. Real property can be changed to personal property through a process known as Question. Real property is fixed, right? Personal property is person? Movable. Yes? Just real quick. Real property is fixed, personal property is movable. If you want to convert something fixed to something movable, what must we do?
Sever.
Cut or sever. So a tree is fixed, so it's real property. To become personal, like a Christmas tree, for instance, right, we have to cut it or sever it. So the process is severance. Cut, always. Okay? Louis?
Yes.
So the word sever?
Yeah. Below number 18.
Okay. We go back to her question from the exam, which is Maria. Right? It's a test to determine what is a fixture. So B is the correct answer. Because intent of the parties and method of attachment, just missing relationship and adaptation. These are the 4 tests to determine what is a fixture. But you answered C?
My answer was D.
Not even. Improvement, so no. So last page of chapter 5 is Maria, which is to determine whether this is a fixture or not? Like in hers, it's all of these are tests of a fixture except. That was your question. And we talked about the size of the item, had nothing to do with it. It's the fact that it's attached. So fixtures. Okay? And if we go back again to chapter 5. The very last page, we go to this. Those. So intention of the party and method of annexation are tests of a fixture, because that's the question you have. Okay, so it's the same thing we just went over before. To figure out what goes with the property and what doesn't. And by the way, guys, as realtors, you need to know this stuff. Because you need to be able to ask, right, is this included or not? Okay? Is the chandelier included or not? You gotta ask these things. If you don't ask and it's removed prior to closing, right, so the seller takes it versus keeping it, and your client can try to sue you for not doing your job. It's called negligence. You're negligent in your job. You did not ask the seller or the seller's agent if things were included or not. So that's why contracts supersede the listing. A contract, we say, hey, we want the house, $200,000. I want you to include that Toshiba TV. So $200,000 with the TV. Because then it gives the right to the seller to say, wait a minute, $200,000, not the TV. So counter offer, right? But we need to know what goes with the property and what doesn't go with the property. Very, very important. Okay, that's why fixture, knowing what is a fixture, is very, very important. Certain things are assumed to go with the property, like plumbing. It's plumbing fixtures or light fixtures, right? But some light fixtures are removed. Some plumbing fixtures are removed. And I'll tell you this because of, I think I mentioned to you guys, there's this property in New York that I went to see at the United Nations Plaza. And in that particular unit, they had a jade toilet. That's a plumbing fixture. Could the seller, unfortunately it was an estate, but could the seller, let's say they were selling it, could they say, yeah, you get the unit, but jade toilet is coming with me? Could they say that? Absolutely, it's a fixture, it's removable. The pipes inside the wall, it's common sense that nobody's gonna rip the wall open just to take pipes. But everything else that's just attached, easily removable, always ask. Okay? The wall-to-wall carpet, you gotta ask, is it removable? Is it a fixture? Is it gonna stay or it's part of the sale? Got it? That's why it says right here, licensees should be sure to ask sellers which items are and are not included with the transaction. All right? 6 minutes. Next question.
On the same question, why did they say method of attachment or two of the tests?
Because there's 4.
Oh, okay, got you.
There's 4 tests right here.
Okay.
So number 1 and 2 are in that question. The intention and the method of annexation or attachment. Okay? There's just 2 tests missing, which is adaptation and relationship of the parties. I have a student text me back and forth. Prior to this, she's now a realtor, and she says, "Guess what? 2 offers. One was accepted at $550, not the other one at $625. But she's been licensed for less than a month, and her first deal is going in, which is great. Hopefully, she'll close in the next 2 to 3 months, and that's her first commission check. Not bad, right? But she's hustling. She has a bunch of. I see she keeps on putting posts on Facebook, which, guys, that's why social media is so important. If they see you active, people want to use you. If they don't see you active, it's very difficult. Does that make sense? She's constantly posting, so that means she's doing something. Like, oh, this is the realtor I want. One that actually is going to represent me and do something about it versus the silent ninja ones. Do you know what a ninja realtor is? There's a bunch of those out there. Do you know what a ninja realtor is? Ninja's supposed to be a master in martial arts and all that stuff, right? Yeah, no. Ninja realtors are those that show up to sign a contract, poof, disappear, and show up at the end to collect the check. The problem is, most of the times, there's no end to collect the check because the deal fell through. Ninja realtors are the ones that disappear and leave you alone. Do you know those?
Victoria, your student, she's like my second cousin. She closed 11 deals last month.
11 deals? My student. No, I'm just kidding. Victoria.
Bastidas?
Okay, there you go. I was going to ask Vicky Bastidas, yeah.
Yeah.
She actually just texted me. That's awesome. You just reminded me I need to text her back. 11 deals. All right, she's been licensed for
6 months probably.
I was going to say less than a year, yeah.
Oh, 11 deals? It's awesome.
You either got it or you don't. And when I say you got it, is the drive. Because anybody can do this business. Anybody. You just need a drive. And focus. It's not just having the drive wanting to do it and just being all over the place doesn't help you accomplish what you need to accomplish. That's good. She's the one that sent you here?
Not really.
Oh, okay. I remember you put just Google, right?
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Just happened to, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to make sure, because right now, this student that I'm telling you also said that somebody at our office was a previous student of mine and was talking about my classes. So it's, you guys are going to find everywhere you go, I'm telling you, any agency right now that you go, you're going to have somebody that was my student, at least one person. Right? I'm not saying that I'm the best, it has nothing to do with that, but I have taught over 1,500 students in the past 4 years. So there's a high chance that you're going to have a student in an agency. Okay? Which is cool, because they can vouch for either the good or the bad. I'm just waiting for the next question. I'm killing time.
Oh, okay, I got a question for a number.
And the only reason why I asked her last name is because I had another one, Victoria D, and she was more an investor. So when you said 11 deals, I was thinking about her with the investments, right? Vicky Bastidas, yep. That's great. Sorry, Liz, go ahead.
Question 22, page 3 of our one. They market.
You're pretty much stuck to certain pages. 320,
I don't wanna-
311.
I don't want to go back and
I'm just
forth.
messing.
Try to save you energy.
Yeah, I'm getting tired and exhausted right now. If you only knew. What is the question number?
22.
Would you like to answer this one?
See?
Okay. Can you tell me why?
Yeah, because mortgages, you are going to look for it, so you're pretty much looking for it, it's voluntary.
Voluntary. Why is it not A? Why is the answer not A?
Because the general is not necessarily voluntary. It could be a tax lien. No?
No. Why is a mortgage not A?
Because it's always voluntary. You're always looking.
But a general lien could be voluntary. Most of the time it's not, but general lien can be voluntary. A mortgage is a specific lien. And I'm asking you this because when we went over these, one of the answers that was given from the crowd was A. And A could not be, so because it's a general lien and mortgage is specific against a parcel. Well, where a general lien goes against all property that you have, not just one parcel of land, but all properties you have, checking account, savings account, and so on. everything out. That's general. So it's definitely not an encroachment, which is an illegal extension onto somebody's property, right? And it's definitely not a license, which is allowing somebody to do something on your property for a certain period of time. Okay? So it can only be voluntary lien because it's a lien, financial claim, let's start with that. And 2, because you asked for it. Good? Yes? All right, cool. So it's 1 o'clock. I'm gonna let you guys go so you can rest your brains for tomorrow. Tomorrow, make sure everybody's on time because tomorrow is practice exam A. 110 questions. So we're going to do 55 questions, take a break, and then we're going to do another 55 questions. So in 3.5 hours, I'm going to show you guys how you can get rid of the state exam real quick. We might be able to finish sooner, and I'm going to show you, even talking, explaining, all that good stuff. I'm going to show you that it is possible to complete the exam anywhere between 45 minutes to 2.5 hours. You don't need the full 4 hours. Okay? If you guys pay attention to the way I go over the questions, you'll realize what you need to do as well when you're reading them. How to break down. That's what it's been these couple of days and the reviews. It's trying to show you how to read the questions. All right? You guys got it? Cool. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye to whoever's at home.